Hello everyone, it's RSNJ Studios here, and today I'm going to do a guide for Tal-Rey's tomb in Vesteria. Firstly, you're going to need to go to the Whispering Dunes map. You're going to spawn over here and work your way down to this section of the map. You may have to complete a little bit of an obby, as you can see here, to get across these giant stone walls. It's helpful if you have some sort of a pet or mount that can fly. The lights don't really matter, just keep walking until you see all these scorpion statues. Also, if you're walking during the day, you may lose a lot of stamina due to dehydration. Once you hit 0, you won't be able to sprint anymore and you will start losing HP. Just walk under a tent or other objects for shade. Anyways, eventually you'll run into the zipline. You won't be able to cross it without the zipline gloves, so you're going to want a flying mount. Technically, if you can join a squad as long as your party leader is at the other end, you'll be able to join the tomb event anyways. Once you're all the way at the end, you'll find Archaeologist Ron. Here are all of the rewards you can get if you beat the boss. The majority of the time, you probably won't even be fighting the boss, however. You can try to find a team that's going to fight the boss or just accept his terms. I'll get in more detail for that later. You're going to want a lot of DPS players, and it's ideal if everyone's level 60, the new max level. Level 55 would be the absolute lowest you should enter this tomb. You're also going to want a cleric, and song weavers are also very good for this. This server is very fortunate because it has so many clerics. Some servers have none. You can join a squad. If it takes too long, you might just want to make your own party. Once you have 6 people in your party, you can go play the dungeon. Press ready. You can also leave if you want to, but don't do that, please. Before I start, here is what my gear looks like. The first room is relatively simple. Just beat the NPCs. It's really not that difficult. These do count towards your book if you have that game pass, and you can get drops. Next is the cactus and switches room. This boss reminds me of Treebeard, but watch out for the giant laser beams. Once you hear the noise coming, you're going to want to run to get some cover, because the laser does tons of damage. The boss does this sort of ground slam punch, swipes, shoots out tons of arrows, and drops an exploding cactus. That one does a lot of damage. Next, go and activate the switches. You can also activate the switches while your teammates fight the cactus boss, called Tamul the Buried, or however you pronounce that. Just ignore all the NPCs. Some of the subrooms are a little bit more difficult than others. Here I'm hiding for cover from the laser beam, or maybe it's a sun ray, and this is the easiest room for the switches. You activate the switches just by jumping on top of the pad or just walking over it. You'll know you've gotten all of them when it says 6 out of 6. The next room will open and you can continue. At this point, I could also mention that there are more subrooms you can open with tomb keys. For example, this room, which is literally Funky Friday. I believe once you light up all of the music notes, you can get into this little subroom and break some vases, which will give you hollow or holo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, coins. The next room is for masks or relics. There are 4 colors. Here's how you get the yellow one. It's quite dark, so it helps if you follow the laser as quickly as possible for a little bit of light so that you know where you're going. Scarab boots will also help in this. Get the mask and the room will immediately light up. Get all the vases too. There's another vase right here. You can use these coins later on if you beat the main boss, as far as I understand it. The blue mask is a little bit more difficult. Well, not that difficult, it just takes more time. First, you have to walk quite a ways in the middle of a sandstorm. Once you find the worm, go attack it and lure it to one of the glowing red rocks. Once you see it dig into the ground, let it follow you. Right before it reaches the rock, jump off. It'll jump up onto the rock and the rock will explode and deal lots and lots of damage. There's another one nearby. Just be careful that you don't get swallowed. Don't jump away too early or too late. Grab the blue mask and run back. Watch out for the tornadoes too. They deal quite a bit of damage. Deposit the mask. The red mask is really difficult because if you hit the tile twice, it drops into the lava, and I think the lava's insta-kill. I haven't been able to do this successfully yet. The green mask is also kind of difficult. The first sections aren't really hard, you can just kind of zoom through it and not worry about anything. Then you get to the lava jumps and it's a little harder. Past this point, you can hear with the sounds are boulders, sort of Indiana Jones style. If you can pass that, get the green mask and deposit it. If you can come back, that is. Once all 4 are deposited, the next room is opened. This little section is a common area for keys to be used to open up a little subroom. You can complete the obby and all the way at the end you'll find vases for hollow coins. As for the 2 bosses, they have sort of tail smack abilities as well as being able to throw toxic green slime. They also have sword slashes and ground slams. There's a secret boss behind some door, I forgot which, that has another one of these bosses but in blue. It looks quite ugly. Also, if you have a ranger, you only need one other person to keep the boss occupied while the ranger blasts the scorpion. This actually works quite well. Although we barely made it to the last room, the final boss, with only 24 seconds to spare. Tal-Rey will give a cool little speech about you entering his tomb. After this, he will give you a choice to accept his terms, which are 5 tomb keys, or to fight him. Fighting him is extremely difficult. Here, I'm accepting his terms. I got 5 tomb keys, but don't leave yet. Follow this path to find a few hidden vases and get more hollow coins. But what if you feel like you can win? What if you have lots of DPS and a cleric or 2, maybe a song weaver as well? If you're feeling really lucky and have a super strong team, then you can reject his offers and try to fight. This boss is very difficult. The first 300,000 HP or so go by really quickly, and then everything goes bad. As you can see, he spawned a scorpion. Then he blasted me with tons of sun rays that were pretty much inescapable. He can also spawn a mummy, as you can see here. You can also see him dropping what I believe are his traps. They hurt if they land on you, and if you stay too long, you are in for big trouble. You can try to make the other bosses fall into the lava. If you fall into the lava yourself, try to swim out. Here you can see more of his sun rays dropping around. Here he spawns a giant baby scarab. He can also TP whenever he likes, so it's very difficult to get a hit on him. The moment you finish one of the bosses he spawns another one. The moment you're close enough to attack him, he TPs away. If you're trying to come towards him, he attacks you and makes it extremely difficult. All the stairs and the large area of the map makes you lose a lot of stamina as well, which makes it even harder to escape his attacks. What's even worse is that every time someone dies, he gains a ton of HP, and I mean in the 100,000s. I find that I'm always around 3 million. The moment my team gets to about 2.7 million, somebody dies and we're back at 3 million. Until eventually the cleric dies, and then it's all over. That was a practically inescapable attack. Anyways, this boss is really hard, and I have yet to defeat it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you footage of what happens when you win, but I suppose it opens up a shop and you get your item drops. Our cleric died, and before long, we lost completely. Although I was surprised to see I'd done 9% of the damage, even though I'd been dead for half of the time, and I was just a warlock. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions or want to tell me something I missed, please put that in the comment section. Like and subscribe.